Hi, welcome to the Trucking TV podcast on Wednesday, the 22nd of April, 2020. This show is aimed at being broadcast once or twice a week, depending on what we have and what's interesting. It's really going to depend on what feedback we get from you good selves. So if you like what we're doing and if you want to contribute and get involved, then there'll be more shows. If you don't want to, that's fine as well, but there'll be less shows. And there you have it. So a little later in today's show, we'll be meeting driver Dave Washbourne, who's talking about life in a box, what it's like living in your cab. That's an interesting one to start off with. First, a couple of notes from Trucking TV Facebook users. A driver called Rob asked, do you know if there are any guidelines regarding cab sharing during this pandemic? Well, we haven't seen anything about this, so all we could suggest is that his boss contacted either the FTA or the RHA for advice. But if you know anything about cab sharing under the current circumstances, please add a comment onto this Facebook post or onto the YouTube page. Next, we had a note from a retired female driver, Margaret, who's been keeping an eye on some delivery situations. She said that one aspect missed by mainstream media has been problems with NHS PPE deliveries. She noticed several days ago that many NHS stores and warehouses were giving drivers all kinds of problems when they were trying to deliver. Is this problem still going on? We'd like to know. Private message me and we'll try to investigate. Most drivers spend 50 or more hours in the cab every week, and many spend much, much more, like drivers who virtually live in their trucks for most of the week. One of those is Dave Washbourne, and here he is.
Morning everybody, my name's Dave Washbourne. I've been asked by an old mate of mine, Chris Goslin, who fronts up Trucking TV, to just share a few of my experiences about how we're coping doing the job with the current coronavirus problem. We thought really long and hard about how to deal with this in view of the fact that we needed to keep running. And there's a Clint Eastwood film, Heartbreak Ridge, and one of the lines in that is, and I had to look it up this morning to make sure I was getting it right, you adapt, you overcome, you improvise. And so my daily routine now involves loads of these things, which we seem to think that the government find really hard to get. Face masks, nitrile rubber gloves, and of course hand sanitizer, and that is getting used numerous times a day now. On top of that, I've probably got shares in Dettol now, and I would think this cab is probably as sterile as a hospital operating centre. I do every surface in the cab that I have to touch at least twice a day. But the biggest problem that I'm reading online is that drivers appear to be struggling getting hot food, going to the toilet, that kind of thing. Most drivers who've been in the job for a while would know how they can deal with the necessities of going to the loo. And yes, there are places that won't allow you in their property, but most of the motorway services have still got their toilets open. The biggest problem seems to be eating, and so I thought I'd just share a few thoughts of mine with you. We're quite fortunate that we've got mains inverters fitted in all the trucks, so we have microwaves, we carry a gas stove, we use things like toasters, slow cookers, and all the trucks have got fridge freezers in. So my main meal, midday meal, it's only 7:30 in the morning at the moment, but that is my midday, is I've just finished it, one of these pot noodles with a tin of mackerel in brine wound into it to make a fish curry. And then later on tonight I will be raiding my fridge for homemade ready meal, if you like, that I've brought with me. And the slow cookers, well, we just leave them ticking away all day. And it does mean that, you know, we can get something to eat. I know not everybody's in the same situation, but you know, there are ways of overcoming some of these problems. Keep tuned into Chris, because I'm sure he's going to have one or two other useful clips and quotes from other drivers as he searches across the industry to see how we're all getting on. Thanks for watching.
And you'll be able to see as well as hear Dave on the video of this podcast, which will be up later this evening. One of the main reasons for providing this podcast is to get your views and opinions out there. If you have something to say, a campaign to promote, or news to disseminate, get in touch. You can find us online on Facebook, on YouTube and on Twitter. And contacting Trucking TV is easy. Just search for Trucking TV and Trucking TV UK and you'll find us. The video version of this podcast will be online on our YouTube channel later this evening. Okay, I'm Chris. This is Trucking TV and this is the Trucking TV podcast. We'll see you soon.